What's going on, guys? Aaron here with NAP Transport, part-time YouTuber, full-time trucker, overtime buffoon. So, some of you guys have been asked maybe by your fleet managers. Some have been asked, or some might be thinking about training. Might think about training new students. So, let's kind of get into what it takes to be a trainer here at Prime. See you soon. Alright, so what you're gonna there's a couple of different things in the process to become a trainer. So first, you're gonna want to get with your fleet manager. Let them know that that's what you want to do. Let them know, that you're interested in it. Don't get into it for the wrong reasons, because your fleet manager will know. There's actually, believe it or not, a strong process that you have to go through in order to become a trainer here. So what you need to do, or what's going to happen, is your fleet manager is going to contact a lot of other departments, and if any of them say no, you're out. One of the first ones they're going to talk to is payroll. They're going to want to know if you're a profitable, or if you're making money. If you're leased, they're going to check and make sure that you're profitable, because they don't want trainers that are out here for the money. Yeah, the money's good. Yeah, they'll dangle money in front of you. But they don't want trainers that are out here for the money. They want trainers that are out here to teach. So they're not going to take somebody who can't be profitable out here. On the company side, I'm assuming profitable for the company as well. Like if you're going home every week, they're probably not going to have you as a trainer. They might. I don't know exactly how that goes. They're also going to get with safety. They're going to make sure that your critical events are down. They're going to make sure that you're not having any rollover events or overspeeds or anything like that. They want to make sure that you're not going to be teaching bad habits to these new drivers. So, for instance, if you're just riding down hills going 85, 90 mile an hour, they're not going to take you. They want to make sure that you're training these students how to be good drivers and safe drivers. They're also going to get with logs. They're going to make sure that your logs are in compliance, that you that you're not violating your logs. I had one singular violation, and it was an oopsie, and I called them on it immediately. I ran my clock all the way out, or my 14-hour clock all the way out. I had hit some traffic, so it was really pushing it to get to this truck stop on time. I probably could have stopped before, at the truck stop before, but I pulled up through the fuel island to the other side. I had to use the restroom. I was running on, lots of water and no bathroom breaks, so I ran inside. I used the restroom, then went to park. I forgot that I needed to watch, because I forgot that I was on my 14-hour and not my 11-hour. So I thought I had about 6 minutes or something left on my clock when I went inside. Well, I didn't. So by the time I went inside, I used the restroom, washed my hands, came back outside to park my truck. I was out of time. So it violated my clock. Nothing I could do about it. Nothing they could do about it. It was an oopsie. I called them immediately and said, oh, hey, I made this mistake. Yep. Sorry, I'm here in Pittston, and these, I guess I gotta move around, so I'm gonna be dancing today. So I got accepted. I did have to take a log class for that violation before they would even take me. So the next time I was in Springfield, I went and I took the log class, got that taken care of. You also have to have had ACE 2 if you're lease. They want to make sure that you know how to run your business and all of that. You also have to have had PSC, Prime Safety Certified. You have to, they won't certify you as a trainer until you've taken the safety class and ACE 2. And any other classes that you might have to take. Like I said, for me it was a logs class because I messed up. So then you get your training scheduled, because you have to train to be a trainer. It's a 4-day class. It starts on Tuesday, runs through Friday. At which point you could possibly pick up a student, whatever you need to do. But you get there Tuesday, and it was a lot of classroom work. You're gonna hear the term death by PowerPoint. It really was. It was a lot of PowerPoint. So, but there's a lot of information in there. If you're in Springfield, George will probably teach the class. Got a lot of knowledge. Was a trainer himself here for quite a while. Like, you learn reference points on backing, which actually made it a lot easier. I've been driving almost 5 years now, and it just made backing so much easier for me. You're gonna do a lot of classroom work. I can't remember if it's Wednesday or Thursday. You go out to the pad and you basically take a backing class. And that is regardless of what it's like outside. So look at the weather, dress for the elements. That afternoon, it was raining. We were standing outside in the rain for, I think, 4 hours doing backing. Or, watching him back, learning the reference points, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to really prepare you for the real world, because you're going to be backing in the rain. You're going to be backing in the snow. You're going to be backing in the wind. You're going to learn how to operate in the real world. And then they do an inspection, or a final test, so to speak. So what you're going to do is, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to inspect your truck. They want to make sure it's clean enough to have a student on. They want to make sure that you're giving space for the student to have their items. Of course, the student is told not to bring all that much, but you gotta have some kind of space for them. They're going to do pre-trip. They're going to test you on pre-trip, so you better know your pre-trip. Better know wording, better know what you need to do, because you're teaching this to students. Like air brakes or auto fail, you better know your air brakes. And then they're going to do a backing test. You need to pass the test. They're going to test you like an examiner would. You're going to get points for blowing the line. You're going to get points for too many pull-ups, that kind of stuff. So they want to make sure that you know what you're doing. They want to make sure that you retained what you learned that week. Overall, it's an easy class. Sorry, I keep doing this to make sure that I trip that sensor for the lights to stay on. Actually, I don't want to say easy. It's difficult, but if you know what you're doing and you pay attention, it is easy. I passed my I passed my pre-trip, and I passed my backing on the first try. But then on the first day of training, or on the first day of training a trainer, you tell them what you're looking to do. Now, if you're a new trainer coming to Prime, or if you're a new trainer at Prime, they very, very highly recommend, borderline require you to take a PSD. PSD is Prime Student Driver. Basically, it's somebody who comes in with a permit. There's no teaming. There's nothing like that. You're going to basically get them their CDL, which is why I'm here in Pittston. My student actually tests out on Tuesday. But unless you have somebody that you're training, at that point, obviously you're going to be paired with that person. They have personality assessment, or core values assessment, I believe is what they call it. You list your core values. They will match you with a student based on your core value survey. I got matched with a good student. I have a very good student. Maybe once we get to TNT, you guys will get to meet him. But he is a very good student. He's willing to learn. He was a former teacher himself, so he kind of understands what it takes to teach and to learn. So it's been great having him on my truck. I plan to take him through TNT if he wants to stay reefer. TNT is trainer and trainee, at which point the truck has to move 30,000 dispatched miles before that student's upgraded. You could choose to do it solo, you could choose to do it team. That's really up to you and your comfort level with them. They're not going to force you to team. Although it's a lot easier to, if you've been sitting there training this guy from PSD, it'll be a lot easier because then there's not as much to learn. Maybe refining Qualcomm and trip planning and stuff like that. But usually in PSD, they better know their hours of service. They better know how to change active drivers. At minimum, trip planning is huge too. If you can get trip planning and do that. If you can get them Qualcomm time. If you're an over-the-road PSD driver like I am, get them Qualcomm time. Show them how to arrive at customers and depart customers and live loaded calls and all that stuff. Show them how to do all that. Now, what the biggest thing you're going to want, I know that everybody wants to know, is the pay. I don't speak for company drivers because I do not know how it works on the company side. I am a lease driver. I've only been a lease driver at Prime. I can tell you that PSD, you will receive $400 a week while they're in PSD. So you'll receive $400 a week to train them. On your first student, they will give you a $100 bonus as well on your first PSD. So your first week after training, you'll get $500 bonus. So they'll give you $400 a week for PSD. If the student trifectas, which means they pass their pre-trip, backing, and driving on their first try, the lease driver gets, I believe it's $850. The student, if they trifecta, I believe gets $250. So it definitely benefits both of you to make sure that they pass it on their first try. And the thing is, there really is no set time frame. Train them until they're ready. It could take a couple weeks. It could take, hopefully not 1 week, but I think for him it's taken a little bit over 2 weeks. But take advantage of pad time when you're at a terminal. Reserve pads, all of that kind of stuff. Take advantage of time on the road. Get them road driving. Get them driving in other conditions. Don't be a fair weather driver. Today, or this morning, my student went through heavy rain and fog going through the Appalachian Mountains. And I mean, fog so thick that you couldn't see where we were delivering right next to the highway. So, they need to learn how to be in those conditions. That they need to slow down. They need to watch their speed. They need to watch for curves. They need to be scanning as far ahead as they can visibly see and drive to conditions. So use every moment as a teachable moment. Get them reading signs. If they have to say them out loud, get them reading signs, because you don't want them to miss a speed limit sign or a curve speed sign. There's one just south of here, just south of Pittston here. It's a 45-mile-an-hour curve on a downhill. You don't want them to miss that. You don't want them to miss that sign. Now, once you get to TNT, there is no extra pay. But if you're teaming, of course, basically the lease driver will get all of the pay. Will get all of the revenue. I don't plan to team right off the bat. I want to make sure that he's comfortable and he knows everything. I might go back to the bunk and super solo it. I might go back to the bunk and let him kind of do his thing, but still be awake and available. But you want to make sure before you start teaming that you are comfortable doing that you're both comfortable doing that. We have too many trainers out here that just right off the bat from TNT go, all right, I'm going to bed. Wake me up when it's my turn to drive. We don't need that. You need to make sure that you and your student are both comfortable with it. And, if you didn't PSD the student, how are you going to know if you're comfortable with that student or not? But the lease driver gets all of the revenue. However, and the student gets $900 per week now. However, that $900 a week comes out of the lease driver's paycheck, or comes out of the lease driver's settlement. So as a lease driver, you will be paying your student. So you want to make sure that your revenue is up to afford it. If you want to run super solo or whatever, you want to make sure that you're still making the revenue to afford that $900 a week. The hardest part of it, honestly, is sitting at terminals and doing pad time, not making any money. So, it's Saturday night. We've been sitting here, or we'll be sitting here till Tuesday. I'm not making any revenue doing that. Could I go run another load? Sure. But he's not confident yet in his backing, and communication is big. He is not confident in his backing. So we got pad time. Don't just go, oh, well, you're good. Make sure the student's confident as well, because you're not going to be out there with them when they're doing their test. You're not. So you want to make sure that the student themselves is confident. So we're going to be sitting here. We're going to get pad time. I think I've got 8 hours scheduled over the next couple of days. We're going to make sure that he's confident, that he feels like he knows what he's doing. So yeah, guys, if you want to be a trainer, there's a lot to it. There's going to be a lot to it. The student isn't making money during PSD. They'll get a $200 advance every week that will be paid back. But really, like, we sat in Springfield a lot last week, and I talked to a lot of students who were waiting on trainers. So if training is something that you want to do, if you feel that training is something that will benefit you, that will benefit the students, don't do it just for the money. Do it because it's something that you want to do. Do it because it's something that you feel will benefit the students and benefit you. I'm learning from my student just as much as he's learning from me. So I just wanted to kind of put this out there for you guys, and hopefully it's informational for you. One thing you do get, you have to buy the shirt, but they will embroider your name and certified CDL instructor once you get done with the training classes. So basically I paid for the shirt, which is a moisture wicking shirt or quick dry shirt or whatever they call it. Spent a little bit extra on it, but but I got it embroidered. So, yeah. So guys, don't do it for the money. If you train correctly, the money will come. Until next time, guys, look past all the junk in life. Everything is beautiful. Take care, stay safe. Maybe I'll see you in Pittston this week.